Bruce Rivers, he's the criminal lawyer.
But who is he?
Bruce Rivers, he's the criminal lawyer.
And who is he?
Bruce Rivers, he's the criminal lawyer.
And what he do?
And it's gonna react to all the self-snitching.
Hi, this is Bruce Rivers. Welcome to another episode of Criminal Lawyer Reacts. I'm Bruce Rivers, board-certified criminal defense lawyer, along with our content genius, Michael Rivers, who is behind the camera as we speak, who is just a fantastic guy, so give us props for him. Today we're reacting to some trial testimony in the XXXTentacion, and we're going to explain kind of the theory of their case. But before we do that, this episode, like our episodes are always, brought to you by eSign.com. It's either eSign or no one signs. What happens on eSign.com is you download the app, you get 3 free signatures a month, and if you have any kind of document at all, it doesn't matter what it is, you could have a brand new record contract. You could have a retainer agreement like I do. I use it all the time. I've got people out of state that send me money but they got to sign a retainer agreement first. So you go to eSign.com, and it's just a great way to do remote business. eSign.com. See the link below. Now, Robert Allen testified in court. Now, there's two things I want to talk about. First, there's snitch testimony, and there's different kinds of snitches, right? There's snitches that were there at the scene, and there's snitches that are jailhouse snitches. People that just sit with you when you're in jail cell. They went maybe read your paperwork, and they come in later and try to testify. They know all about your case, and he confided to me, he confessed, blah, blah, blah. I love cross-examining these guys because they're just dumber than shit, and you're not going to let them get over on you. However, guys who are part and parcel of the whole conspiracy, like this guy here is Robert Allen, who are snitches. They're a little more difficult to tackle. Why is that? Well, number one, like all snitches, there's only one reason for a snitch to testify. Why is that? Or what is that? What's their reason? Because they will get a lighter sentence, right? And so you can say that, well, you're only doing this because you get a lighter sentence, right? And so you go down a whole litany of questions like that. And then you kind of go into their background about how they're not to be believed, and you don't have a job, and, or you're selling drugs, and you haven't told your mother that you sell drugs. You didn't tell your landlord you sell drugs. In fact, you wrote on there that you did this, this, and this, and that's not true, is it? So you try to paint them as a liar. But if the snitch is corroborated, you're going to run into trouble. Now, let's just see we're going on Law and Crime and kind of react to this testimony.
Robert Allen is the only person that you will hear from that puts Michael Boatwright at Riva Motorsports on June 18th, 2018.
So, attacking the credibility of a snitch is the only way you do this. It's the only way they can do this. But if his testimony is corroborated, like in this case, by video evidence, which I submit to you it is, and probably other documentary evidence because they bought things at that Riva dealership, then they're believed. They seem more credible. But what about, let's talk about one other concept here real quick. What about accomplice liability? So let's say you're in the car and you're just along for the ride. You don't exactly know what's going to happen. Can you get tagged with what is going on? Remember I gave you the analogy of a liquor store. We went into the liquor store to rob it. I didn't know he was going to kill him. Too fucking bad. That's a reasonably foreseeable event because you went in there with guns, and if somebody resists, somebody's going to get shot, and that's a byproduct of armed robbery. In this particular case, you've got some context that you can only get through a snitch. They rented a vehicle through Turo, remember, but what was the purpose for renting that vehicle? The only person you can get that from, unless some other people have talked, is from this Robert Allen, right?
And he has a whole host of reasons to lie.
Here's the thing. That is defense snitch opening statement 101. But guess what he gets for testifying if it's discovered that he lies? Bupkis. And they'll pull his deal. So, even though the attorney says he's got a motive to lie, because he does. I mean, this has got to come out one way for him, because if it doesn't, he's fucked, right? So, but here's the flip side of that, is if he lies about any of this, he doesn't get the benefit of the bargain.
In law school, they teach us don't promise something, an opening statement, that you can't deliver on during the trial.
And he's about to do it.
Let me be very clear. If Robert Allen testifies in this case, he will lie. And we will prove that he is lying. Police ignored an extraordinary amount of evidence that Michael was not the killer, was not involved in this case.
See, it doesn't matter if he's the killer, because anybody that was there that night to rob the person, or anybody for that matter, and somebody died as a result of that, in for a penny, in for a pound. That's the way the law works.
June 18th, 2018. I'm talking about the day before, where there was some type of agreement or plan, however you want to refer to it, to rent a vehicle. Do you recall that?
Yes.
Okay, so tell us about that. Whose idea was it to rent the vehicle? You have to speak up nice and loud.
Diedrich.
Okay.
So it's Diedrich's idea to rent the vehicle.
Diedrich's idea to rent the vehicle, why? Rob who?
Anyone.
So when you say it was
His idea to rent it and for a criminal purpose. Now this is what we call a conspiracy. And you would think that if one person's testifying and you've got these other people, well, you can't say what he said in my trial because it's hearsay. Well, it isn't hearsay. Here they come. They're coming for me. They can't testify. You can't testify about hearsay, but a statement in furtherance of a conspiracy is not hearsay.
As he grabbed the bag, shots were fired.
So he said, as he grabbed the bag, shots were fired.
I asked him to speak into the microphone.
As he grabbed the bag, shots are fired.
Who shoots the shots that are fired?
Michael Boatwright,
And who does he shoot?
Triple X,
Where does he shoot him from? What side of the car?
driver.
So if Triple X is in the driver's seat and Michael Boatwright is in the driver's side, the shots are coming onto Triple X's left side or right side? Which side?
Left side.
Okay.
And that's corroborated by the video. I mean, that's pretty simple stuff.
And what happens, how many times do you recall that Michael Boatwright shoots Triple X?
Maybe like 2 or 3 times.
What does Triple X do as a result of that? What does Michael Boatwright do next?
Get back in the car.
What does Trayvon Newsom do?
Comes out, slips and falls a little bit, and runs the car.
What does Dietrich Williams do? Now, are all 4 of you back in the Dodge Journey?
Yes,
What does Dietrich Williams do?
he drives off.
So he's got Dietrich Williams renting and driving the car. He's got Boatwright shooting. And he's got the other dude there along with him and tripping and falling and getting back in the car. They're all acting in concert. And acting in concert is just like you, even if you didn't pull a trigger, you are responsible just as if you did. So you might as well have. Don't mean to say that cavalierly, but these guys, this case is not super difficult. It is on video. I don't know what the defense is. I know they're going to testify. Someone's going to have to testify because it's been talked about that that one of the defendants didn't know it was about to go down. So now Robert Allen is, by all measures, a snitch, right? He is saving his ass so that he doesn't get life without parole, and he is snitching. And so there has been some talk about him being intimidated, and intimidation of a witness, if whoever is the origin of that, that's also a consciousness of guilt. So when you get information like this as a defense lawyer, it fucking sucks. Because if your client does something as stupid as trying to intimidate a witness, there's only one reason for you to do that. And it's because consciousness of guilt. And that's what it goes in for. When snitches testify, though, they oftentimes get their ass beat in jail. All right, so that's just kind of a little bit of the testimony of Robert Allen and how he seems pretty credible to me, but he is a snitch. But he comes off credible, and that's really only matters of what the 12 people in that box think. Probably have 13, maybe even 14. It's 12 people in a jury, but they usually have one or two alternates. So we'll keep following this trial, but it seems to me that these young men are toast. They murdered somebody in broad daylight. They had breadcrumbs leading to them from every angle, and just my heart goes out to XXX's family. So we'll see you next time here on Criminal Lawyer Reacts. I'm Bruce Rivers, board-certified criminal defense lawyer. Make sure you subscribe, follow us on Instagram, follow us on Twitter, sign up for Patreon, and we'll see you next time here on Criminal Lawyer Reacts.
Bruce Rivers just broke down your case. He know all the charges that you about to face. You ain't coming home till 2058. That self-snitching gon' get you put away. Bruce Rivers just broke down your case. He know all the charges that you about to face. You ain't coming home till 2058. That self-snitching gon' get you put away.
23-hour lockdown, please, is that my God?